one.
Good evening, good evening. Hello, 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 hello. It's about a minute to 9 o'clock and we're just here, as we normally are, saying hello before we go live, yeah. Hello chat. We've got Keith in there, I'm just refreshing, Bruni, Becky, Davey M, Lemental, VB, Spiritus, Mike B, Rob. Dibbers is in chat as well, so he can kind of chat away as the VTs are going. I don't go into chat, it's just too much, I've got too many keyboards. He's just sat there, he's fine. Yes, got some good stuff coming up this week. Gary's playing with these mods again. An orange one this time, yeah.
Certainly is.
Yeah. Oh, he's here, by the way, there he is, look. He's got a new camera.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to be live in 10 seconds, so here's the bug. And here we go. Yes, good evening. Very quick pre-show bit there because we were just sorting out a few things before we went live. Yes, good evening. It is Tuesday and it's the 10th of March. Oh yes, 2015. I'm joined as per usual, but not like last week. I'm joined by Mr. Garry Dibley, who is over here.
Good evening. Yeah.
With his cans on because his headphones are going boom, 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 like that in his ear.
I couldn't hear a damn thing. So I'm gradually upgrading my kit, and this is the way I'm working it with the wife. If I show her the show each week and say I need a new webcam, I need new headphones, this is the way we're working this. It's doing well. So please complain much in chat about the sight of my headphones, and wife will ensure I get a new pair next week.
So all his Christmases and birthdays and anniversaries all rolled into one. So he needs new earpieces, yes. But little ones you can't see, like these ones, these are good. Yes, very good. So, yes, we've got all sorts of stuff coming up today, but not until we've had what we like to call the titles. Yes, indeed.
Vaper Scene is proudly sponsored by Health E-Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquids.
Yes, indeed. Good evening and welcome to the Vaper Scene on this lovely Tuesday. Yes, it's dark outside and it's going to start getting lighter soon. Clocks change at the end of the month, don't they? So we're going to get lighter evenings. That'll be good. Be looking out of my window there and not seeing darkness. Yeah. So, how is chat? What's this? Spiritus Fate says, apparently Garry has a small that could do with an extension too. Yes. Luckily the filter got that word, which is good. Fuzzy Ann says, those headphones are much too big, Garry. They look terrible.
Yeah,
that's one to pass to the wife.
That's it. I'm making note.
And Hi-Fi Stud says, Dibley's daughter is desperately dinky. Oh, sorry, Dibley's dangler.
Dangler.
He's desperately dinky.
To be honest, she already knows that. There's nothing at all that can be done about that, and we have tried. Yeah.
I think you should turn yourself a new tip. Boom. Oh, dear. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today. I've got a few things that we can talk about. I saw this. I get updates from They Work For You because I registered online, and anything that goes to the Secretary of Health or my local MP or everything gets emailed to me, kind of in a little thing, a little alert. And this question was asked in the comments by Mark Pawsey, who asked the Secretary of State for Health how many cases of chronic lung disease are recorded as being linked to A, butterscotch flavoured e-liquid, and B, electronic cigarettes in general. And Jane Ellison, who's the Undersecretary of State for Health, she replied on the 6th of March saying the department does not hold the requested information. There are reported cases of butterscotch and other flavours of e-liquid containing the chemical diacetyl, which has been strongly associated with a form of lung disease called bronchiolitis, obliterans via occupational exposure. I can't get my words out tonight.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, this substance is not intentionally present in e-liquids, and because of potential of this chemical to cause disease, a precautionary approach should be taken. Many responsible producers have taken steps to remove this chemical from e-liquids. Kind of interesting that they have no data on any kind of lung disease. Is that a good thing, or is that a bad thing? Is it bad because there isn't any reported cases, or is it good that there isn't any reported cases, or do they just have absolutely no data at all because they're not even looking into it? That is the question. Someone else asked a question, and that was Matthew Offord, who's from Hendon, Conservative, and he asked, what assessment has been made of the effect of tax revenues of the introduction of standard packaging of tobacco? Yes, and she replied with a link to a document, which I have, and the link will be going into chat for this because it is quite a large document. What you want is page 42, which gives you a load of blurb, and on the second page of that, kind of 42, 43, they estimated 4.5 billion, and that doesn't include the illicit market or cross-border shopping. So they're probably going to lose a hell of a lot more because people are buying it from other places that have still got the packaging on. And of course, going across and doing a booze cruise, which is probably, I haven't done a booze cruise for years. Now, when I used to smoke, I used to go across to Calais in the car on the ferry, drive up to Belgium, pick up my baccy in Belgium in Tobacco Alley, and then back down to the hypermarkets, fill up the back of the car with whatever I wanted to at the hypermarkets, and then back on the ferry home again. I really don't know how much things cost there over there now for people who still smoke, but I'm probably guessing it's cheaper. Yes. What do you reckon, Gary?
Never been there, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think I went to Amsterdam once when I was 18, and I remember getting on the ferry, and that's it. I know I needed some cream when I got back, but I don't know what the hell it was for. But yeah, better you.
You needed some cream for his very small dangler. Yeah. Yes, an interesting document which gives you a kind of insight into what they're losing. But that's the thing, isn't it? Is it going to make any difference to people buying cigarettes? No, of course it's not. It didn't in Australia, and it's probably not going to do the same here either. I do find it's quite comical though, going in the supermarket and seeing they've got the big doors across, so you can't see what's there, and some have got little, A5, A4 folders, and you can pick them out from there. So it's not defeating the point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't know. So yes, if you do register at They Work For You, it's quite good if you register and you get the answers from your local MP, and they're delivered straight from Hansard. So everything that's said in the Commons is written down and it's reported in Hansard. That then gets filtered through to the website, and if you subscribe, you do get the information sent to you, and you can go and look at the stories. So that's what I do. Yes, you get a load of other blurb you're not interested in, but sometimes they do show me something that interests me. The other thing that's been going around today, really, and that's this story that's come from the States. In fact, it's this story that was in Eyewitness News. E-cigarette lodges into ceiling after exploding in Santa Ana man's hands. Say that when you've been drinking. And apparently, this guy who was in his 20s, sitting on his bed, smoking. He wasn't smoking, he was vaping, if this story is in fact true. Monday morning, with his e-cigarette, began to hum. Now, people are kind of they were a bit confused about this story. If you were going to call 911, I'm freaking out. I just had an electronic cigarette blow from my hand. Would you say that? Would you say, I've had an electronic cigarette blow from my hand? No, I'd say, I'd had my mod or whatever. These are the pictures. There you go. You can see the apparent cut to the guy's hand. The Atty lodged in the ceiling, upside down, which is a bit bizarre. Do you not think? Do you think if it was going to be launched off the end of his e-cig, it would be drip tip first, and then an assortment of bits of device? Now, have you seen those pictures now, Guy, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you make of that? Because there's a lot of speculation either that this is a true story and the guy's been doing something crazy, or somebody is fabricating this and making a story that is really not there.
Yeah, I mean, we had the thing that you showed last week or week before. Memory's gone. Which was the fixed, the story about the guy that apparently had, some, he had lung cancer and was died in hospital, and they showed the picture of the parent and this, that, and the other. Yeah. Which, that turned out to be complete and utter, how can I put it mildly, bollocks. And it was. And, you know my history with trying to make things blow up. I've tried all sorts. And,
you're not very good at it, really.
I'm terrible at it. I don't have a problem in trying to make things blow. I've shorted stuff. I think you've got to be the one of the unluckiest people in the world to actually get one of these to blow. I've yet to make one vent, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I've actually tried on many occasions to test safety of various devices. One day I might get unlucky and one blows up. I think there's got to be ample warning before, and I've looked at the batteries, and I know many people have, and they get extremely hot first and foremost before they're going to go. And if I was laying on my bed with my mod in my hand and it started to hum, first of all, I'd try and play Name That Tune. The second thing I'd do is think, what the bloody hell? This is one of those things. What the bloody hell is that? And is it getting hot? Because the first thing that mod is going to do before it explodes is get very, very hot, and very hot rapidly. I've had mechanical mods that I've had a direct short on because of a nick in the battery casing, and even though I inspect my batteries and I look at my batteries, it can happen as you're putting it in, and you may not know that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Dan Robinson in chat, so I've just put it up in our Skype chat. He says he was using a 4.9, which is a hybrid top. Bad idea with the Atlantis, as the POS pin squishes up and shorts out the battery.
It does, and I found that quite a lot with the Kanga, to be honest with you. I had one of the early ones, and that caused a lot of compression of POS pins on most of the mechanical mods I've got. The V2, I know they didn't call it a V2, is a lot better with that. But yes, it can. You know, if you cause a compression between on your pos pin, you will generate a short. But as soon as you hit that button, I guarantee you know it, because it gets extremely hot rapidly, quickly. And your first reaction is to let go of the button. Now, if you've got a complete direct short, and you can't, because some of the ways that the mods fire, you don't have to press a button to make a short. Maybe we should look at that again. But that thing is going, and if you're laying on your bed, and like probably many people, if I'm laying on my bed and I've got it between my legs, and or to the side or somewhere within reach, that I would know that is getting damn hot. And if not, it's going to vent before it explodes. And if it's not vented, why? What sort of mod was it in? And to go with that, it must have just blown a top cap off to stick it in the ceiling. There's lots of things in there that personally I think are wrong, if you get me. Did I rant? Did I go on far too long then?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. You've made me go over already.
Sorry.
You've now just thrown out my whole list of stuff. No, it's all good. Bruni said, where are all the stories of exploding phones? Yeah. And Paul Robinson 804, scaremongering at its best. And then Trevor, honest and internet in the same sentence. I shall not live long enough to see that. To which Bruni agrees. Yes, and I totally agree as well. And you said there was a story a couple of weeks ago about that picture, and someone else has said that was a clickbait to get people to see an ad. And they'll try anything these days. They'll get a nice juicy story. And just be careful what you click in Facebook, really, because you never know where you're going to go. So, Monster Rob said too much detail, Gary. Yeah, but at least he spelt your name with 2 R's, which I don't always do. Oh dear. So that was that. And let me just pick on something from last week. Remember on last week's show, I did the DIY juice video, and I showed you that slide showing you what the mixture was. Now I think it was Lenny Tawson who asked a question about, she had some 100 milligram nicotine and 30 mils of zero nic, but flavoured zero nic, and what should she do to get 12 milligram. Now, first of all, don't forget Lenny doesn't live in this country, so 100 milligrams is legal. In this country, 75 is the most you're ever going to get, but most suppliers in this country will only supply 72 at most. But if you use the same kind of workings out, 100 milligram nicotine to 12, if you added 29.9 millilitres of the zero nic juice, you would get a 12 milligram, and you'd actually get 34 mils of it by adding 4.1 mils of the 100 milligram. Yes. So I just thought I'd answer that one this week from last week. And if you do have any questions about mixing or anything else, you know what to do. You can send us an email, or you can go to the Facebook page, or you can ask it in chat, because we'll always answer you. Yes. Anything to add on that, Gary?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at chat, and apparently I've got 2 arses.
Have you?
I've been totally sidetracked, to be honest. Yes, Mr. Dorm says Gary has 2 arses. Question mark. No, I don't.
Maybe Mr. Hi-Fi Stud can clarify that statement.
that would be nice, thank you.
In our Skype chat. Oh dear. Good evening, Chief. Yes, Chief has just arrived. Naughty corner, Chief. You're a bit late to the party. No, it's okay. It's all good. Right. I think what we'll do is we'll go to the first set of ads, because we've got other stuff to get through. And when we come back, you'll see Mr. Dibley with what he's had in his hand. Yes. What have you had in your hand tonight already? And it was orange. You're on screen.
Oh, no.
So, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, don't ask. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, there we go. That's a quick flash. Yeah. So you can have a look at that very shortly, because we will see you after the break.
Vaper Scene is proudly sponsored by Health E-Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquids.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
And now it's back to Vaper Scene on Vapor Trails TV. Vaper Scene is sponsored by Health E-Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquids.
And we're back in the room already. There we go. That's what happens when you press the wrong button instead of turning off the volume. Never mind. No one will notice. We'll just gloss over that one. Yes, there we go. Back on me. No, so Garry and I were just talking there about how much time we've got left, and Hi-Fi Stud has put fanny packs in chat for some reason. Oh, God. Okay, we're going to go to the first part of this week's MFT with Mr. Dibley, and he has the orange thing that he had in his hand on the bench. Yes.
See the orange thing. Right, so we are back for another. I noticed I do that a lot. I don't know why. It's a finger thing. Mr. Pointy. I don't know why. Need a pipe. We're back for another week, and this week I'm going to be answering a couple of questions I've had through here and elsewhere. Would it be possible for me to show you a very simple mod? Now, A, I'm very simple, and B, we like the odd mod. And it's twofold, because I had a box for a little while, which is this one, which is a nice shade of orange. Now this is available, where did I get it from? Stealth Vapes, as is most of the stuff that I'm going to be using for this. Now it's a nice little, you can hear it rattling, it's got some little screws inside that I need to keep. There are a few different ways of doing this. Now, I'm going to do it so it's still screwed on the top. You can, however,
as some modders do, hollow this out and put some magnets in, put some magnets on the cover. I'm not going to be bothered with that. It's one for me, it's for a purpose, and I just want a nice little simple 18650, we hope, mod that I can stick a dripper on. I've got a high drain battery, and we're just gonna make a nice simple mod. Somebody said it's all, you know, everybody's showing us the DNAs and all of that sort of stuff, and where do I start? Now I know we've covered this before in the past, but this should give you a little idea of where we are. You know, a nice simple mod, and I'm going to be using a few recycled parts as well, or one, which is a switch. I had this in a previous mod. It is a nice chunky funky big motherfucker switch. And if we're talking nipples, no, we're not going to. I promised I won't do nipples again. Can't do nipples. I will not mention nipple for the entire show. We're going to get that down in there somewhere. I've got a little cap here, or a 510 connector, which is sprung loaded again from Stealth Vapes. Now, I've had this rolling around so long, I've totally lost the screw for it. So I'm going to probably, when we fix it, drop a bead of glue in and bed it in. It will be fine. And I've got a little 18650 battery sled down in there. Now I'm going to go down on the bench. I'm going to show you something, because this, as it sits, if I take the cover off and I put this on the top, it ain't gonna fit. And I need to look at, you know, rough placement. I'm going to try and get it as close to these two little sort of threaded screw holes as I can, but because this is plastic, and looking at it, I should be able to get away with filing enough off each end that it will sit down, and once it's back in there, it may lose a bit of its rigidity. Can't believe I said that. It may lose a bit of that, but if I get it that tight that when it's seated inside, it should be fine. Now I wanted to go with a sort of a mid button throw on this. One or two reasons. When my 510 is sat down in there, I could get it near the top if I wanted to. That's the other thing I've got to look at. That's going to be bloody close to the battery. This is going to be very simple. An 18650 battery, a switch, and a 510 connector. And that's the way I want to roll with this. I want to have a bit of raw 18650 power. Just because. And hopefully, if you've asked the question, can you show me a very simple mod? It doesn't get much simpler than this. Battery holder, switch, 510, box. What sort of tools we're going to need for this? Now, we're going to need to trim back these tabs on here, and something to take that down. So to trim the tabs back, I'm going to use my trusty set of side snips to be taking this off. We're going to use a simple hand file to take the ends down, take the nipples. They are nipples though, aren't they? Sorry. And the dog's now fighting a fox outside. So yeah, this is a little keystone. So once I've removed the nipples, that will sit flush down in the bottom of the box. I'm going to use some form of marker to try and mark everything out where I'm going to go, and I'm going to use a couple of step drill bits to drill out for the connector and for the switch. Now I might have to get the big boy out. I've got 3 sizes of these, and to be honest, when you're buying these tools, this was a very cheap set from CPC. Now the reason I'm pointing that out is they were very cheap, and I've been using them for probably 3 years, and they are very good bits. They're about 20 quid the set, and we're going to need the drill, one of these hand drill to get it all drilled out. First thing I'm going to do is start looking at marking out where I'm going to go. So I rough it out, rough it. So I want to get this pretty much close to the edge. So that's how it's going to sit. Now it's going to be a right bugger to mark. So I'll sort of get a rough central point on my marker, and I'll just dib that in, a little tiny dot. And if I then try and, I don't measure it, it's pointless. I try and do most things by eye, which A, can bite you in the arse, and B, can bite you in the arse. But centering that up, hopefully that's roughly where that is going to sit. For my switch, again, I need to rough that out. And what I'm looking at when I'm positioning the switch, so I'm just taking these, let me just snip these wires off. Yeah. As you can see, this has been in a mod previously. We're going to try and break this down if we can. Bloody fingers went back today. Apologies for the dog in the background, I will shoot it shortly. So the reason I'm doing that is I'm looking at if that is sat there when this goes through at that central point, which is going to be roughly about there. I'm not going to encroach that when it's down there because that'll be on top of the box. And my switch, I really wanted sort of like a central-ish switch because of the size of the box and where my middle finger lays. That's sort of going to be a comfortable firing point. And like I say, this one is for me, so happy days there. So I'm just going to roughly put my switch center, and the way that I do it by eye is to sort of get a center point, and then I'm going to dib roughly there, and that is a very, like I say, that was by eye. If you want it to be anal, you could measure it. I've got a tape measure. Let me just slide it through. Tape measure. One has a ruler. I'm just going to go edge of the box, 3.5. Yeah, see, yeah, it's 3.5 and a bit. So I could probably go a little bit more, around about there. And it don't look bloody central from there, but what have I got there now? 4 and 4. So bang smack in the middle of those two dots is a centre. The old eyes are not that far out. I'm going to just go and get a little tiny drill bit so I can start drilling a couple of pilot holes. I'll get that drilled, or get me drill bit, and I'll come back and we'll bang some holes in the back of this thing. It's probably going to be over a couple of weeks this. Like I say, you wanted to see the simplest form of box mod. You don't get simpler, and you can get such funky boxes nowadays. You can get these in all different colours, red, green, blue, you know, whatever, and they're a nice solid box, and with a decent attic. The whole lot is very relatively inexpensive. It's not going to cost you the earth to have a play with something like this. File, clips, soldering iron, job done, basically, and something to bang and hole. I'll be back in 2.
Yes, in fact, there was going to be more from Garry. Well, this first bit was going to be before the first break. So you're going to get the second part with Garry, who's there, yes, chuckling away during that bit of ET, as we were talking. Yeah. Yes. So here is the second part of this little bit of ET, and it's going to do some drilling now. Yes.
Right, we're back, and the dog is still frigging barking. I might have to go and shoot it in the head. Of course I wouldn't do that, and you know, cruelty to animals and all that sort of thing, but I have come very close. I've strapped a 2.5 drill bit in the drill, and what I'm going to do is just bang one out. Oh, God. I'm gonna mark up. Well, I've already marked up. I'm going to try and get this as central as possible. Now, the one thing I haven't done, which I should check, is just check roughly how centre that is. Well, look, I've got 1.5 what have we got here? So I've got, say, 13 mil that side and about 13 mil that side ish, give or take. I'm liking that. It's going to be bang on, I think. Now what I'm going to do is probably just drill ever so slightly below that. Now I know some people would probably moan and say you shouldn't put your thumb on the drill bit, but when you're trying to ease it in, as you can see there, what I'm doing is just nicking very slightly where that hole should be. When I'm drilling plastic, I always tend to go slow. When you're going to drill this stuff, get a good grip. I know some people always moan at me and say you should have it clamped in a bench, you should have this, you should have that. If you're comfortable with your tools, you know, and whatever you feel comfortable with, that you're not going to do yourself an injury, you know, that's the best way to work. If you feel, and I hate drilling stuff when it's clamped in, because I'm taking this relatively slow, I'm not forcing it, and I'm through. It doesn't have to be a massive chore to drill a hole in some plastic. These things are relatively soft, and it doesn't really, you know, slow is better. Why try and bang it in? You know, take things a bit slow, enjoy it. So she said. So I've got my step bill now, step bit in now, and I'm just going to start hollowing this out again. Look how slow I'm drilling, and it's going through. It's going through like a knife through butter. Obviously not big enough. There's a couple of more steps I think to take out of this before we can get that in. And for some reason, I don't know why, I felt the orange was really rather appealing to me. Right, one more and we're there. That's the beauty of a step drill. You can take it down, you can test it, you can try it, you can get your exact size hole without keep having to change bits. Push exactly where I wanted it, and that looks relatively central ish from a punt. I like having a good punt. So now what I'm going to do is change my bits again and go for the switch. Now apologies if you're watching this and you're thinking this is shit, but people have asked the question, you know, what is the simplest form of making a mod? Now so far, how much work has been involved in that? Hardly anything, and already we have a fitting atomizer connection. Once we've got our hole drilled through for our switch, we are pretty much 90% of the way there. Now I'm pretty much doing this real time today. I'm not keep cutting away, I'm not doing all that stuff. And again, slowly with the switch, and I'm going to swap out to this time I'm going with the big boy, so I'm just going to put that in. It's only because I think that this might take it out enough. It may not, but I'm going to be a bit more brutal with this one because I've got to get this out. What you've got to think with plastic is, plastic gets, and it's the same thing when I'm doing the tips, plastic gets very hot very quickly, hence using a low speed to drill the holes, because you can end up buggering it quicker on a high speed. And as you can hear, I give it a little burst to sometimes clear the swarf out of the way. Just going to have a little test. probably got a couple more. Now this might go to the extent of this drill bit. Now I know that looks ever such slightly off centre, but when you've got the cap on, all of a sudden it looks bloody central, doesn't it? By eye. Now the problem with some of these bits, oh look at that, the problem with some of these bits and why you need different bits. I'm going to go and get something and I'm going to show you why I've done that. Bear me 1 second. My big doofy what's-it, if you look at the way that was going in then, I've come to the extent of where I needed to go and it's touching the back wall. I found that with drilling some of the bigger holes, this one, I've taken the top off in the Dremel. Badly, of course, but I've taken the top off. And the reason for that was the hole that I needed to drill was, you know, massively, it was impeding on the back wall of the box. So I took it down. So I know that I've taken it down, and I could probably take it down some more. But where, you know, that one and this one, where they cross over, I know I've got, you know, to here before I've got the big one, which is a yeah, design flaw in a way on these. They're all great, they all do their things. So we have our connector ready, we've got our switch ready. So this is sort of where we're looking at with our box once that's in place. So that needs to be screwed up, that needs to go in. That's how it's going to be looking when it's done. I'm also going to be sort of having a look at this very cheap dripper. Now this is Octopus dripper, I believe. I got them when TW were having a massive sale. They are brilliant for the price. Big thing for me is the airflow, and there's just not enough airflow. So I'm going to be adding a couple of airflow holes in here to go with my box. And realistically, this is sort of what we're looking at doing for me. Like I say, this is a personal thing. So that's roughly, when it's all done, how my little box is going to look. Really simple, really cheap, really easy 18650 job. Nice switch, nice button, nice battery sled. It's all looking good, I think. I'm going to pop away. We'll be hopefully finishing and nailing this next week. What I'm going to do now is get me snips. I'm just going to straighten this bit out and take that off. We don't need these. And cut my nipples off. That'll all be filed. I'll get it from the bottom as well, the last little bits. As tight as booger it. But this will all file down. It will all file down. Probably not the best use of snips in the world, and I know someone will probably moan at me. But there we go. So yes, this will hopefully, with enough taken off either end, slide down in there. So we will have a simple 18650 mod in bright orange. I'll hand you back to Marco in the studio, and we'll continue and hopefully finish this next week. It is as simple as it gets. Catch you soon.
And there you go. That was MFT for this week with Garry and his orange box. And plenty of double entendres on the way there. I was watching chat. Please be careful if you're going to glue your flange. Yes, that's all I'm going to say. Anyway, over to the ads we go. When we come back, we're going to look at one of the exhibitions this year, Vape Jam. Yeah, we'll see you in 2.
Vaper Scene is proudly sponsored by Health E-Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquids.
Vapers, Dripper just got 40% bigger. So if you love discovering new e-liquids, tell Dripper what flavours you like and we'll send you 70ml of juice and at least 5 flavours. With a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe, dripper.co.uk.
RY4 Radio.
What's in this e-cig cloud? Harmless water vapour, right? Pretty much, yes. Compared to a lit cigarette, it's much safer than smoke. But it contains nicotine, and nicotine on its own isn't toxic and doesn't cause cancer. If you're worried about switching to vapour, here are some facts. No tar, no smoke, no burnt tobacco. Cooking your evening meal produces more toxins than are found in exhaled vapour. Tobacco smoke contains toxins at very high levels, and vapour does not. And that vapour contains 6,000 times less carcinogens than cigarette smoke. Electronic cigarette vapour. There's nothing to be frightened of. The only dangerous electronic cigarette is a banned one.
And now it's back to Vaper Scene on Vapor Trails TV. Vaper Scene is sponsored by Health E-Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquids.
And we are very much back in the studio. Hello, chat has been going crazy. I don't know what you're on tonight. You're all very, very strange people. That's all I'm going to say. And I think you're being railroaded here by Mr. Hi-Fi, who's goading you all. And if you don't watch live, come and watch live because we have the great fun. Anyway, we are going to move swiftly on because we are going to run out of time. Vape Jam is on in May, and it's kind of the first of the big festivals that's happening this year, along with the one in Harrogate in June and the NEC in July, and then of course Vape Fest in August. Yes, and I spoke to the 2 organisers, Maria and Amia, yesterday. So here is what we talked about. Enjoy. So, as you may know, A, because I've just told you, and B, because we've been looking at these exhibitions that are going on this year quite a lot over the past few weeks. But Vape Jam is going to be on Friday the 8th and Saturday the 9th of May. And I'm joined tonight by Maria Borisova and Amir Saeed, who are the organisers of Vape Jam. So good evening, guys.
Hi.
Good evening.
Tell us a bit more about the event and a bit of a background into how it all came about.
Well, the idea came a while back while I was at Vape Fest, and obviously I already planned to go to ECC. And then when I saw the show out in ECC and saw how well it's doing, within literally the first day of ECC, I said, you know what, we need something like this on this type of caliber in the UK. So literally that day I designed flyers. I called my graphic designer up. I made her just make a standard website. And the second day of ECC is when I start giving out Vape Jam flyers straight away. Start giving out flyers. Got a lot of feedback from the exhibitors there. They had about 300 exhibitors ECC. So I thought this is the best chance. This is the best time for some sort of feedback from them and see if they're willing to come out to such an event, same style event in the UK. And from the feedback I got, which was a lot of people did decide to say, you know what, we would be very, very interested depending on the time and so on. And we initially started speaking to Olympia as soon as I got back, which was in August. Tried doing it for March, but March was booked up, and then we had no choice but May. So then the final dates, which was 8th and 9th, was booked and everything. And then we had a lot of exhibit inquiries. We followed up with everyone that was out, that we got back from ECC. And that's how it all just started, really. That's exactly how it started, the whole idea of it.
And then, Maria, you got involved, and what's your background?
I come from a background in public relations, but I have been vaping way before Vape Jam even came to life. So I suppose Amir thought who better to control than a fellow vapor. This is how I came into role. So yeah.
And it's the 8th and 9th, and is the Friday's business to business, is that right? And then the Saturday is for everybody else?
Both of them are open, are B2C, but Friday, half of the day is business to business.
Okay, so what time can people start getting in there, say, on the Friday?
The general public are allowed between 12 and 7 on the Friday, and Saturday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The businesses, strictly business to business time zone, is between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. on the Friday.
Yeah.
So the general admission is basically from 12 p.m. on the Friday, and then all day on the Saturday. Yeah.
Yes.
Until 5 on Saturday, and we are working on organizing an after party for all of the exhibitors and all of the attendants on the Saturday after the end of the expo.
And where is that likely to be?
We are still in works. We are trying to create something very, very grand. That we will keep everybody posted as soon as we have more details about that.
And there's general tickets, but there's also a VIP area and some very special guests. Do you want to tell us about that?
Okay. Phil and Dimitri are our special guests. On both days, they're going to be doing a question and answer. They will be walking around the whole expo. There will be a meet and greet. As far as the VIP area, we created the VIP area specifically for people who want to go on both days. It's slightly designated. It will have an open bar. It will have refreshments and snacks. The idea of it is for people to be able to feel a little more secluded, as people generally must know expos do get overwhelming at times. It's a very busy, concentrated place with people. So this was the main idea of the VIP. They are a little pricier, but we do contribute with a lot of space, drinks, and snacks. So this is the main idea. Obviously, there will be VIP goodie bags where people will be getting a lot of freebies, a lot of very exciting stuff that a lot of our sponsors and exhibitors have donated. Speaking of more goodie bags, there will be goodie bags on both days as well for the 101st entries on Friday and the next 100 on Saturday, where we have also worked very close with sponsors. There's going to be a lot of vape-related goodness.
We like goodie bags, especially good goodie bags.
It's our first year. In the beginning, we did get a lot of confusion from the public. People seem to be catching up quite well, though. We have a lot of encouragement, a lot of forums, and vaping groups in the UK have been extremely supportive, and we're very grateful for that. So we are really trying to deliver to the community.
And of course, it's undercover, so there's no issue in relation to weather, which is good. Where do you see yourself sitting in the kind of Vape Fest exhibition type genre? Do you expect this to become a yearly event and a kind of similar thing?
Definitely, it will be an annual show. Hopefully, if this year goes well, plans are for next year to have a bigger venue, probably excel. But let's see. This is the stepping stone. It all will depend on this show itself, and then where this show can take us next year.
Yeah, I mean, there's you in June. July, there is the NEC in Birmingham, and then now in August there's Vape Fest. So it's going to be a busy calendar this year for vapers. And I guess for you it's going to be where do people want to go? And because they're all over the country, so you're in Olympia, so you're in London. Then there's North Yorkshire, which is Harrogate, and then of course the Midlands, which is the NEC, and the Midlands again, which is Vape Fest. Do you think you're going to get more people from the south, the southeast, the London area, as opposed to north of the border?
From the current ticket sales and the regions they are being bought from is mainly towards the south. Yeah, definitely. Definitely a lot more towards the south. There's a few coming towards from the north, but I understand it's a lot of travel cost, accommodation, so on. And the people that are coming majority from up north will be coming for both days and so on, whereas from the south is the odd either Saturday or the Friday.
Of our international guests to travel, we are not only getting American exhibitors, we're also getting European exhibitors, and this is one of the main points of the show. That the vaping industry not only in the UK but in Europe, it's picking up a lot. It's very vastly growing. So London naturally does make it an easier place for everybody to travel to. We're both. Well, Amir is a Londoner. I've lived in London for the past 6 years, so this was a natural choice for us. And also, it probably does encourage lots of our American exhibitors to come and actually get a little bit of a trip out of it rather than just do business. So I'm guessing London also has an appeal in that way. I hope this answers your question.
I think probably what's going to happen is more of the south will go to the southern events, and then people from the north and the Midlands will go to the northern events, and it will, I think, capture just about everyone in the country. How many tickets are you actually envisioning selling in total? How many people can attend?
Well, we are allowed to have roughly 2,800 at one given time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, going to Vape Fest, going to other shows and so on, vapers, when they do travel this far out, they tend to stay the whole day. So we have no choice but to cap the tickets around the 2,800, 3,000 mark per day.
Right.
Due to the whole reason behind it is because we don't want to oversell and can't allow vapors come in. So we have to cap it at 3,000. It's obviously it's nothing like any other type of exhibitions that we will go to, where you go check it out for about an hour, 2 hours, and then you go home. Here, people will tend to stay for the whole day because there's all sorts of programs going on throughout the days, which we're still working on at the current moment. So obviously people will stay the whole day. So that's why we're anticipating for about 2.5 to 3,000 per day.
So you say there about programs going on during the day. Is there anything you can tell us now, or is it still in kind of negotiation?
We're trying to work, obviously, beside Demetrius and Phil Basardo doing the actual question and answer and talk show on the stage. That's been confirmed. We're just working out exact what time and what day is preferred for them. Then we have a lot of the sponsors which we're trying to work very close with to see what they want to give to Vaper, see how do they want to stand out from the rest of the other exhibitors, and see what they want to promote and so on. So we're slowly adding stuff into the program as every one of our sponsors keep coming back to us with ideas and so on. Because obviously we have Space Jam as our premier sponsors, and then we have Vape Club and Suicide Bunny as our platinum. And they've invested a lot into time and money as well. And they really want to see Vape Jam UK actually grow. So they really want to, like, if you can say co-host it at the same time. Because obviously they did the same with ECC. Space Jam did the same with ECC, where they co-hosted it as they were their premier sponsors. And the same thing they want to do along the same lines in the UK for Vape Jam UK.
And of course, not just entertainment is planned. We are working very hard on arranging speeches, presentations, and seminars by regulatory bodies, by activists, by people who are fighting for the powers of vapors, not only in the United Kingdom, but in the European Union. So we're trying to combine pleasure and leisure with some useful educational material as well.
So we're looking at 12 onwards on the Friday for the general public, and then 9 till 5 on the Saturday, with the possibility, when it happens, of an after party. Is that going to be included in the ticket price, or is that going to be something separate?
That's basically every attendee that turns up will get a wristband for the after party, so they get free entry. It will be also open to the public, so if they want to bring their friends and family that do not vape and do not want to come to the actual exhibition themselves, but they want to come to the after party, they are welcome to, but obviously for them they will have to pay. Or they can actually request more wristbands on the day as well for their friends and family. We're willing to give it away, the tickets for free. It's not a problem at all. It's just the whole point is to have more people come and enjoy themselves. Also, the after party is going to be it's going to be in a club, definitely in a club. We're still in talks with a few clubs, depending on who are offering us to allow us to actually vape inside, because we want to show the public it's not just a normal event night, not a normal club night. It's actually a club night / vape night, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're still in talks with a few, and then we've got a few guest performers,
Artists.
Who will be attending the actual exhibition to perform. Again, we can't disclose exactly who yet until final contracts are signed off.
It's very much watch this space, really. Keep looking at the website and see what comes up. I mean, there's a while to go yet. We're just in March.
Yeah, 6 or 8 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to be there, so
yeah,
and a few of us are going to be there, and I'm doing all of the shows this year, so it's going to be a really busy few months for me and for Vape Trials, that's for sure, covering all these events. Finally, then, tell everyone why you think they should come to Vape Jam.
We are the first of this kind in the UK. We are trying to repay to the community. We are trying to do our best to bring all of your favorite brands, not only with juice lines, but hardware. We're trying very hard on making the day to remember and to continue working with Vape Jam in the upcoming years.
When we're doing the awards and so on, I don't know how.
Awards. We are doing awards on the day.
Yes,
That's another point.
That's it. That's what I forgot to mention. We're going to have an award ceremony towards the end of the show as well. So again, on the website, closer to the time, we're going to have like an online poll for like best juice line, best hardware, best innovative products, best dripper, and so on. And obviously, the vapors can actually vote online from the exhibitors that are attending. So we're gonna have a little poll thing online, and then we'll hopefully do an award ceremony towards the end of the Saturday.
Just to say, there will be plenty of giveaways.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of freebies are going to be given out on the 2 days of Vape Jam. So this is another reason for fellow vapors to come. You're definitely going to get your tickets worth. You're definitely going to meet a lot of very interesting people, a lot of leading people in the industry. And you will get to meet Amir and I. And Vaper Drills.
Remind everyone how much the tickets are, the general tickets and the VIP tickets.
Well, there's no more VIP, so there's only general admissions now, and Amir will clarify on the prices.
Yeah, the general tickets are £5 per person per day. You have the option of buying both days, still £10, £5 for each day. There's no discount or anything. It's really, really cheap as it is for what you will be getting. So yeah, it's only a £5.
So it's a £5 for 1 day, or
yeah,
£10 for both.
Yes.
So there you go. That's Vape Jam, yeah, which is the 8th and 9th of May. Not too far in the future. In fact, the first event of the year, really. Thank you very much to Amir and Maria.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll touch base again before the event and see what other information that we've got out there. So
sure.
Let's go back to me and Garry.
How the hell are they making?
Yes, and it's back to me and Garry because we've run out of time about 5 minutes ago because I let Garry waffle earlier on.
Sorry.
So yes, Phil. There we go. Phil and Dimitri are going to be there, and I'm assuming they're going to be very busy with people wanting to meet them. We will be talking to the organisers of the other events as well. So we've got to speak to the NEC and the Harrogate events, and also somebody from Vape Fest, hopefully. And Spiritus, I will be at Vape Fest, and I will come and see you. Okay. I promise I will come down to your tent and bring my camera because I'll be filming all day, both days probably. Anyway, Garry, say goodnight.
Good night, and I'll be taking my camera and I will be having a private interview with Maria if she will allow me.
Yes, I did notice there were some comments in chat about Maria. I will let her know. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. I won't go through chat now because there's just not enough time. Don't forget, tomorrow night it's The Cave. Thursday it's the Haze Hour. Sunday, Drips and Tips. No, it's not. Monday, Drips and Tips, but Sunday is Dev's Tackle Box. Garry and myself will see you a week today, which happens to be a Tuesday. But we all know what the acronym is, don't we? Have a good week. Talk to you, bye.
Vaper Scene is proudly sponsored by Health E-Vape. UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquids.